Hello and welcome to the Somatic Movement and Mindset podcast with me, clinical somatic educator and founder of Total Somatics, Heidi Hadley. The Somatic Movement and Mindset podcast has been designed to help you gain a deeper understanding to how your mind and body work. You will learn about your amazing mind and body and why over time you can feel pain, recurring injuries and poor posture. Within this podcast, I will teach you why this doesn't have to be your future or the norm for you. Would you like to learn how to reduce pain, move freely, and gain a new lease of life? Let's get started. Hello and welcome back. Now in today's episode, we're going to look at how we can get your spring back, how we can get your bounce back with movement. And that is what's really important, is that we have a resilience, we have an adaptability within our beautiful soma to deal with stress, to deal with different mechanical stresses as well. So this is what I'd like us to delve into today. But before we do, I'd like to ask you this question, and that is, have you noticed over time if you're getting symptoms such as muscle pain that can be coming about from pretty simple movements? So it could be that you're rolling over in bed, and then all of a sudden your back goes on you. Or it could be that you're trying to put a shirt on and something goes in your back. And that didn't happen before. Maybe it's a reduction in your range of movement. Maybe it's that you're having to actually start to adapt to everyday movements and activities that you used to do to make that movement or action happen. So it could be like the way that you tie your shoelaces, it could be the way you pick something up off the floor, it could be the way that you walk. That in order to cope with the pain, you've had to adapt the way that you move, the way that these activities go about. Maybe you've noticed there's a reduction in your flexibility. There's a reduction in the rhythm and the flow and the bounce that you had at one time. Are you starting to notice, or have your loved ones started to comment, that you walk very wooden or very robotic or stiff? Have you also noticed a deterioration or a shift or a change in your posture, which is starting again to impact your pain and maybe your depth of breathing and other factors that you can personally notice yourself? Also, a lot of people start finding that this nagging, dull ache and pain that they have can disappear for a short time with certain therapies, but it comes back pretty quick. And finally, what about clumsiness? Do you sometimes find you're a bit clumsy, that maybe your spatial awareness is not what it used to be? You might trip over your foot a little bit more. You might even notice that your reading of your internal environment, your world, is not as sharp as it used to be. Now, this can come about from various factors. There can be different reasons this can happen. If you ever have any concerns, always go and see your healthcare practitioner. However, with many of these cases, it can be due to various factors such as habit. We do something long enough, we don't even notice it's a habit, and it could be detrimental to our well-being until we get pain. It could be an injury, or it could be post-operative. Maybe it's a mechanical or an emotional stress. You see, what happens is your muscles, and there's other amazing features and components such as your fascia, which are all involved with creating this rhythm, this elastic recoil, this bounce, this flexibility, this adaptability with your body. We don't want to be stuck in a rigid posture. We want to have that adaptability to move and twist and bend and rotate and all sorts of things. But you see, what can happen is if we're not noticing what's going on a day-to-day basis, if we're not noticing how our emotional makeup is also influencing these factors within our body, then it can start to lead to poor movement patterns, poor posture, rigidity, recurring aches and pains. So within Total Somatics and within the Total Somatics membership, I teach you a very effective 3-step process that you can do to start to basically unwind and release that rigidity and tension that has been building. But not only will I be teaching you a 3-step process, there's other amazing skills and techniques that I will teach you, which are going to work with releasing areas such as fascia. I'm going to be educating you on areas of fascia. There are lots of workshops that I've taught that are all within the membership that will talk about total somatic movement, your posture, muscles, fascia. You see, there's such an amazing world under your skin that when you start to learn what is actually happening, and I teach you these skills, then that's where the power lies. You can start to reset and recalibrate and start to create more regulation within your nervous system, which then has a ripple effect to the rest of your body. And so also within the Total Somatics membership, I will teach you mindset and mindfulness skills too, because you can't separate your mind from your body. They're very heavily intertwined. And I'm sure you'd agree, when you've had emotional and mental stresses, have you noticed how that impacts you physiologically? Have you also noticed when you have physiological issues, how that starts to mess with your headspace? So you see, the two are intertwined. And that is why when I teach you mindset and mindfulness skills, when you marry that together with total somatic movement, then you can see that there's this whole rich area that is still to be discovered. And we're constantly evolving and changing as somas. So from one day to the next, we're different. And even I continue to learn so much about my soma when I work with amazing people from all around the world. We're always learning and evolving because, again, our brain and our body, our entire soma is dynamic. It isn't fixed and rigid in one place. It's always creating new wiring, it's creating new shaping. And when we start to work mindfully, when we start to notice what's really going on underneath your skin, what we can do is take care and create this nurturing and this resilience and an equilibrium from within when everything else around us can be pretty chaotic and uncertain at times. So would you like to have greater range of movement? Would you like to have that flexibility back? Would you like to have your bounce and your rhythm back? Would you like a posture that's got the ability to adapt and shift and change rather than being rigid and stuck in one particular pose, which is deteriorating even more? Would you like to have a reduction in your pain so you can start enjoying your life? Would you like to have more energy? You see, when we have greater control of our movement, when we have greater control of our mindset, and we have these mindfulness skills, we can bring this back into our life so we can really enjoy having a quality of life again. And so if you'd like to join me, you can go to the Join Now page. If you go to totalsomatics.com, click on the Join Now page, and you'll see that there is where there's either a wait list. So if the doors to the membership are currently closed, please leave your details there. And then when the membership doors open, you will be the very first to find out, because I only open the doors for a few days to bring new members in, because the key thing is the focus is to then be really present and fully focused on serving the Total Somatics community around the world. So if you're ready to take good care of your health and well-being, if you really want to learn skills that are going to basically, I'm upskilling you, I'm empowering you with some amazing, incredible techniques. Plus, you're going to hear from experts from all around the world that also come into the membership to bring in that greater depth of information on nutrition, psychology, all sorts of areas of wellness. If this is for you, then I would love you to join. And so, as I said, click on the Join Now page at totalsomatics.com. If the membership doors are currently closed, leave your details on the wait list, but go to the online shop and have a look at what's on offer there. There are things such as releasing tight hips and back pain. That's a very, very popular subject. It's a very popular program. So it would be a really good way to get started into your Total Somatics journey. So until next time, take care.
Thank you for joining me today. If you've enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating and also forward this on to somebody you know will benefit. To learn more about pain relief, plus how to improve your health and well-being, go to totalsomatics.com. Until next time, take care.